Better?
Perfect. Hey.
Nice big mane and nice and dark.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So 7 or 8 years, is that prime or is it young or?
Prime.
Yeah.
Prime.
Now, do the lionesses prefer the dark mane? I think I was reading. Was it dark or light mane that they prefer?
Not necessarily a big difference there. You can find two brothers where the one would be much darker and the other one much blonder,
Yeah.
and not really a big effect.
Hmm.
The manes are for visually to make them look bigger, stronger, those kind of things, but it also acts like a helmet when they're fighting.
Right.
Protect themselves, especially the arteries around the neck and those areas. This guy weighs up to about 120 kilograms. You'll find the further north you go, Madikwe, Kalahari, they'll weigh up to about 250.
Really?
How come they weigh more?
It's just genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
You'll
lions.
find
they're much
elephants,
bigger.
some elephants, northern part of Kruger, massive tuskers, where in the south maybe not as big. If you go up to say Tosha, the elephants there, body size, much bigger, but the tusks are this size, but this,
Ah.
but this stubby.
Mm.
It's got to do with things like fluorite in the water and all those kind of mineral substances which makes them
Absolutely.
grow differently.
Do the males do much hunting for food? I've read that the females do most of it. Is that right or?
Oh, Hollywood, in their eyes it's right. You see what happens. Okay, before I get to this question, let's explain the whole life cycle first
Sure.
of a male. When they're born, short gestation period, about 110 days, then they will spend their time with the pride up to about 2.5 years. So you'll find in that pride structure, females always stays within the pride. At about 2.5 years, they get kicked out.
The males
Females
do.
chase them away, those kind of things. It's to avoid interbreeding with their siblings and those kind of things.
Yep.
So when that happens, they go off, they become nomads. They're not part of a pride, they don't have their own territories, nothing like that.
Hmm.
They will move silently through other guys' territories, those kind of things, up until they reach the age of about 5 to 6 years old. So in those times, they have to hunt for themselves.
Mm. Mm. Yep.
Otherwise they're going to starve.
Yep.
That's also when they get strong and confident and all those kind of things. So when they go into their prime, roughly at about 5, 6, they will then start competing other males for their territories and their prides. So sometimes what happens, these nomads, like we've got a coalition forming at the south of the reserve now with 2 young males, different prides, but they'll stick together, and with that they will then become very strong. Although every time that there's mating and those kind of things taking place, they will fight again. You know, that's just helps with the gene pool diversity, the strongest, those kind of things. Now, say for instance, they do take over a pride. If there are babies, little cubs in the pride they take over, they'll kill them.
Yes, that's right.
Called infanticide.
That's right, yeah. Now, can I just clarify? I knew that happened, but is it just the male cubs they'll kill, or the female cubs also?
Both.
You both, so both, yep. And that's just instinct to do that, isn't it?
Take away the competition.
So is it they...
It's not the
It's
line,
not their
it's
offspring.
not their offspring.
This is such a nice
That's beautiful.
To watching. I know, darling. But watching that, you see her. Beautiful, darling. Stunning.
Now you'll find then at that stage, they will then obviously, if the cubs aren't there anymore, the females turn to their normal suckling and those kind of things. And they go into estrus much quicker. It's not a conscious thought, but that's the cycle, that's how it works. So then they can mate, have their own youngsters. Oh, and those youngsters